Department of Justice, United States. Ohio resident pleads guilty to laundering and operating darknet-based Bitcoin mixer that laundered over $300 million. An Ohio man pled guilty today to money laundering conspiracy arising from his operation of Helix, a darknet-based cryptocurrency laundering device. Helix was used and associated with Grams, a darknet search engine also run by Harman. It seems like the bitcoins were mixed and then used in darknet markets where dealers sold opiums and opioids and other illegal drugs, a growing scourge. Dan, Eve, your thoughts on the incredible capture of this gentleman by the United States government and that he is now pleading guilty?
It's another one of those gotchas, right? Didn't they get him because they sent the admin a message saying something like, "Hey, I want to buy some ecstasy." Or no, that's it. Selling proceeds of selling ecstasy, and then the admin didn't answer back, but then they processed the payment, and so that was enough. They just seem so. I'm sure I read one the other day where it was 13 out of 14 people in a sting operation were FBI, undercover FBI. And you're like, no, wait a second. At what point is there a ratio that the article should actually read 13 evil government people coerced one single person? If I had 13 people trying to convince me to do something, I'm probably going to do it. That's the way things work. And when you set people up in these situations, I don't know. Obviously, they've I don't know the whole case, but the person's pleaded guilty. Whether that's a plea basis or I don't know, but that's sketchy enough as it is. I hate the idea of if you break a plea deal because of the threat of worse, right? I've been watching loads of those confession tapes type stuff, and they're basically you're going to go down for murder, even though they didn't do it, and they're you'll go down for murder. But if you just confess right now, we can get you 10 years or whatever, and you'll be out. But you have the chance of being in the electric chair. You're gonna go, oh shit. You're gonna, you're gonna think to yourself, well, I might have to just admit to it. The danger is that they caught him based on I think the setup transactions, right? So in 2011 as well. So it was way back in 2011, and the records, I say public records, but the records in certain companies go back that far. But obviously, Bitcoin records go back to 2009. So it's that pseudo anonymity, but at the same time, it's a very transparent ledger. So if you are doing something dodgy, you've got to be very careful. Otherwise you may get caught. It's sad that more people are going down for, having free market type stuff going down. I mean, obviously, ecstasy is illegal, and so technically it's illegal, and so is money laundering. But ecstasy is also lots of fun, apparently. So there's that part. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't get sentenced, or they don't get sentenced too hardcore. He doesn't get sentenced too hardcore.
Ecstasy is also thought to be by many as a potential cure for PTSD. But yes, going back to this, again, it reads like a press release from a different time. Now that marijuana has been legalized in so many of these United States, so many other countries have legalized it. CBD is everywhere. And the example of Portugal is available to anyone. They decriminalized everything. They assist their addicts. They try to help them get onto methadone and other things like that, help the meth people, all that kind of thing. And that's a better way to deal with this. It's a treatment issue. It's not a crime issue. So yes, this person was allegedly running an anonymous mixer service so that people then could get the drug that they wanted. And as it's been shown once again, over and over again with economic issues, if there's a demand, there will be a supply. Whether it comes from this country, whether it comes from another country, another state, under the garage, wherever it's going to be, some kind of hidden room, whatever it is, people are going to make the things they want to make, and they're going to distribute them. So it does seem like a backwards press release from a backwards country who's still debating this war on drugs when we have the example of Portugal. Decriminalize, offer treatment options, try to get people off the stuff, but it doesn't do it any good to have this illegal mirror around it, and everyone's like, oh, it's so cool, it's illegal. And then the same thing with the cannabis. When they allowed the drug dealers to have cannabis as an entry level drug, people could try cannabis, say it's not so bad, and then get on heroin or meth or something that's much, much worse, much more addictive. And we have to separate those up, make it a treatment issue. People should go to hospitals. So, not
Yeah, like
impressed
how
with this
prohibition
one.
worked out, right?
Exactly.
The
Prohibition
prohibition.
didn't work, temperance didn't work, all these other movements where the government or other people tried to say what you can and can't do. And sure, there are things that are very bad and we need to try to keep them out of society, but we need to be more reasonable overall and not just follow things because it's a tradition. It's a tradition in the United States to be racist towards black people and Mexicans and to bust them for marijuana. Well, that's a bad tradition. Let's get rid of that. Let's turn that one back.
What's crazy as well is if you think about the amount of infrastructure and the costs of that infrastructure, like the ongoing maintenance costs, the operating costs of trying to kill the drug trade. Like, imagine if you just took that money. I bet it would cost a fraction of it to legalize everything, let alone not just take it costing a fraction of the amount into medical services to help people, but like you would make money off it. So not only do you make stacks of money, but then you also save stacks of money, because instead of loads of police officers going out, loads of all this massive infrastructure, all these crazy ass plans, and that was it. I read a hilarious article the other day, I've got to take me 2 seconds, but anyway, to get it up. But it's just insane, right? In a situation where you could be making money, they're actually burning money. And so the thing I read the other day was that the I think it was the CIA, but it was like, or something like that. It was like the CIA. Oh, that's it. The CIA says that it has found no link between itself and the crack trade. The fact that they even have to investigate that, like someone had to go, right, there seems to be a bit of a case between the CIA and crack, and they had to do an investigation, which they came to the conclusion, whether you trust that conclusion or not, that the CIA isn't instrumental in the crack trade. But I reckon it probably is. Of that 13 out of 14 principle. What if half of the people that decide on these cases, half the judges are from the CIA? Ooh, I don't know. Then they'll never get done for anything. We live in crazy times. It's a crazy world. Take care of your crazy self.
It's also a lot like the war in Afghanistan. We spent hundreds of millions of dollars a day. I forget the right figure, but we spent millions every day. We didn't help those people. We didn't help our people. The whole time, right after 9/11, during the period of chaos and everyone waving the flags, I thought once again, we should bomb them with hospitals. We should thrill them with kindness. We don't need what was it, shock and awe. We don't need that. We need kindness. We need kindness and surprise. And 5 years, 10 years from now, they'd be like, those Americans are pretty good jerks, but they set up that free hospital over there. They got that free food shop down the corner. Like, I eat there sometimes, not so bad. And that's how you win a war. If you look at Hamas, not an example anyone wants to use, but over here in reality land, they give out services to their people. They do provide hospitals. They do provide safer neighborhoods than there would be without them. Sure, it's like the mafia, which also provided services. But once again, America could offer people services instead of bombing them, use the same money, but we can't because of tradition and the military industrial complex. And that's always how we've done it. And even though the Soviets spent a disastrous 20 years in Afghanistan, the US was like, me too, me too. And loss of lives on both sides, a horrible disaster, just awful for the Afghan civilians. And oh well, We're leaving. It's over.